The Green Bay Packers getting some great news on the injury front, despite what we may see on the surface. What do I mean by that, guys? Before I jump into it, if you like the content, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. A face that we have not seen on the football field for quite some time is running back A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon was out there stretching with the team. I believe he did practice. I don't know if it was limited or a full practice for A.J. Dillon, but regardless, A.J. Dillon was out there, which is very good news if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, because you're going to need as many weapons out there as possible when we are facing the San Francisco defense. Yes, despite Aaron Jones being completely red hot right now, rushing for 127 yards, 120 yards, 111 yards, and 118 yards over the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. That is a 4-game streak right now of 100 plus yards. He's hoping to make that a fifth straight game of 100 plus yards. He does need to get the bulk of the carries without a doubt, but A.J. Dillon was running the ball very well prior to his injuries. So that is going to be a very nice change of pace back when we start talking injuries there. Okay. So here's the thing. When we are talking injuries, another player that is of concern of whether or not he's going to be out there is Jerrel Alexander. Okay. So what did Matt LaFleur have to say about Jerrel Alexander's status yesterday? Let's take a look at the latest on Jerrel Alexander. So it says right here, Alexander, running back, A.J. Dillon, outside linebacker. Obviously, Egnegbari was not out there. Those are the only players that didn't practice yesterday, which lasted less than an hour. Okay, so the good news is that it was only an hour-long practice, so we know that Jair obviously is not going to be suiting up for that. Jair is dealing with an ankle injury sustained in last week's game that was aggravated in the third quarter. It says right here, Matt LaFleur says he's doing better, just getting treatment. We'll see where he's at tomorrow, which was today. We're going to have some real reps tomorrow, and hopefully he'll be ready to go. What did Joe Barry have to say about Jair? He said, I think he's a little bit further ahead this week than he was last week. Okay, so that is very good news for the Green Bay Packers when we start talking injuries and where Jair Alexander's status is. However, today he wasn't seen out there as suiting up and stretching with the team, which my guess is that he did not practice today, but that necessarily isn't all bad because if you remember, we can take a look at what the injury report was for Tuesday. Tuesday, he was limited in practice. And then, like we talked about, Wednesday was only an hour-long practice. Thursday, he did not practice. Now, the game status is going to be determined tomorrow. So he obviously is going to need to rest that ankle as much as possible before we see him out there. Another good news is that Elgton Jenkins obviously limited in practice yesterday and also limited in practice today, which is very good news for the Green Bay Packers. Other than that, everybody else, for the most part, was out there. Everybody, at the exception, obviously, of Kingsley Enagbare, who's going to be out for the season. But and obviously Jair Alexander. Okay, so leave your comments. Let me know what your concerns are. Do you think that Jair Alexander is going to suit up? I happen to think that he is going to suit up, right? So that's what I mean by despite what's on the surface, he was limited in practice on Tuesday. And I think that yesterday's practice just being an hour long, I think they were just looking to rest that ankle. Today, he didn't suit up, which is a little bit concerning. However, I think tomorrow we're going to get his determination. I do think that Jair Alexander is going to be out in the football field, but the good news for the Green Bay Packers is that A.J. Dillon looks like he is going to be out there for Saturday's game. Guys, go Packers. Leave your comments.